I know when you meet someone, a stranger, you're never supposed to talk about two things: religion and politics, okay? Those are cultural no-nos, if you haven't heard. So today, we're gonna do both. We're gonna kill two birds with one stone, or should I say, we're gonna kill two birds with one story. Because the story we're gonna look at today really combines both religion and politics, but when you look at it on a deeper level, it's about something much more profound than those two particular issues that tend to occupy a good amount of our time. So to do this, we're going to do something that I call, we're going to have a spontaneous drama. How's that? Yeah, a spontaneous reenactment. So one of you here is going to participate in a reenactment of a very crucial scene that really lays out these two particular issues in a pretty clear fashion. So to do that, we need a volunteer slash I'm going to draft someone. I think on the front row, right there. Can you, sir, are you right there? Can you come on up and help me? Yes? Can you come up and help me? Yes? No? Sir, can you come up? Come on up. You know, where's your name?
Angel.
Angel. Come on up, Angel. You can't make that up. Angel, have we ever talked about this before?
No.
Okay. All right. Angel, okay, we're going to do a little drama here. Okay? Can you help me out here? Is English your first language or second language?
Second language.
Second language. ¿Habla español?
Yes.
Qué bueno. Español es mi lengua segunda. ¿Tú puedes leer inglés, verdad?
A little bit.
Qué bueno. This is perfect. This is going to be great. All right, here's the deal. So I'm going to be Pilate.
Okay.
And you're going to be Jesus.
Okay.
Angel. No pressure. Can you do that?
Okay.
This is your card. I'm going to go get mine. All right?
I'm going to try.
Okay, I know. 1 second. I know you will. I'm going to do my best too. I'm not an actor, you know. We're not actors. We're up here just having fun. So I'll set the stage here. Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Okay, good. You think you're nervous. Okay. Pilate, by the way, this is from the Bible right here, but when I read this week, I go, this kind of reads like a drama. So Angel and I are here doing the drama. Here we go. I'm going to be Pilate. I'm the politician. I'm the governor. Pilate then went back inside the palace and summoned Jesus and asked him, "Are you king of the Jews?"
Is that your own idea? Or did others talk to you about me?
Perfect. Here's my sarcastic response. That's why I had to be Pilate. Am I a Jew? It was your people, your chief priest, who handed you over to me. What is it you have done? Ready?
My kingdom is now of this world.
If it were?
If it were, my servants will fight to prevent my arrest by the Jews. But now my kingdom is from another place.
Awesome. You're a king then.
You are right in saying I am the king. In fact, for this reason I was born, and for this reason I came into the world to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of the truth listens to me.
What is truth? Angel, you're awesome. That's all you had to do. Thank you. Man, give me a hug, brother. That's awesome. You didn't plan on this today, did you?
No.
Are you a member of Second?
Yes.
Okay, good. Woo! You never know. All right, that's like Angel. Once again, have a seat. You can keep that. Hey, Angel, I picked you because you're on the front row and you have a beard. So I thought, That would go well. But I love this story, right? I mean, because it's just a timeless story of what happened in around, I don't know, about 33 AD, the beginning of the first century. So you have Pilate, who I played the role of, right? Who just he's a part of the federal government, if you would. He's a part of Rome. He is in his palace. He is eating grapes. He is on his computer, and there's this local skirmish, this ruckus that's been brought to his attention by some religious people, right? And they want him to take action. And Pilate is like, I don't want to take action on this. I've got things to do that are important. So they bring Jesus before him, and they have this interesting dialogue that goes back and forth, and Pilate's trying to figure out, who is this Jesus guy? Did he do anything wrong? And then the whole conversation evolves into a question about truth. And that's when Pilate pops the big question. And we don't know if he's serious or if he's being sarcastic, but he asks a great question. What is truth? What is truth? Now we know when we're summoned down to the courthouse. If you're in court, put your hand on the Bible, swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. You know, when you are talking to someone and you have to confront them with something, some people say you were dropping a truth bomb into the conversation. But what is truth? What is truth? Truth, first of all, is universal. Truth is also unchangeable. Truth, by its very nature, is absolute. Truth is true, whether we believe in truth or not, whether we feel like it's true or not. Truth stands alone. Truth describes what is really real. There's a match, there's a connection between what is said or an object and what exists in reality. That's what truth is. But as you know, truth has taken a bit of a beat down in the culture that we live in today, especially in the Western world. There are many people who will say you can't know truth. They'll say truth is unknowable. Or they'll say this, truth is relative, which is a really nonsensical, contradictory sentence, isn't it? If truth is relative, you're making an absolute true statement about the nature of reality. Therefore, your argument or even your worldview self-destructs. What is truth? Pilate asked. And I would say, tell Pilate, I go, Pilate, listen, people have been asking the question, what is true, what is really real, how do I align my life to what's really real for thousands of years, okay? Now, you didn't plan on this, but we're going to take a few minutes. I'm going to try to do this in 3 to 4 minutes. And we're going to take a little sweep of Western history and philosophy from 575 BC all the way to 2019. Wow. So put on your jogging suit, like we saw earlier in the broadcast, that blue. Put on your jogging suit. Thank you. Put on your thinking cap, and we're going to go through this. So let's start over here at 5. By the way, for those here that are they're 25 and under, this is called a chalkboard, okay? This is chalk. This is eraser. And when we did bad things, your parents, after school, we would have to bang the eraser and write negative things about ourselves on the board. If we didn't do that, we got another board from the principal, the coach, that had, anyway, that's a whole nother deal. That's not, anyway, here we go. So let's start over here as people are searching for truth. So we start 575 with Lao, Tzu, or Buddha. They're the only people from the East that we're going to look at. You know, they start here. And then you move from 575 to around 400 BC, and you have Plato. And Plato was a disciple of Socrates. Socrates died in 399. And really all philosophy can be traced back to Plato as far as the Western world is concerned. Plato believed in objective truth, objective reality, and the area of forms and ideals. He had a student here called Aristotle who believed in that but had a different slant. And then you go to right here, oh, so now it's probably 44 BC. You have JC, Julius Caesar, 44 years before the time of Christ. Right here, you have Jesus Christ and Pilate having that conversation at the turn of the first century. And then in 400 AD, you have Augustine. And Augustine was just an intellectual giant. Now, he lived like an absolute wild man until he was 29 years of age. He had a radical conversion experience. He lived to be around the age of 85, I think. Gary Thomas, is that right? Something like that. And he's had a massive impact on Western civilization, especially the Christian world. So Augustine made a great statement that someone paraphrased about truth. He said, all truth is God's, truth. Is that chalk flying? So, all truth is God's truth. So that means that God is the source of all truth, no matter where that truth is found. So no matter if the truth is found in biology or chemistry or physics or psychology or sociology or art or drama or music, all truth is God's truth wherever it's found. So Augustine, in a sense, showed us and gave us permission to see God's truth everywhere we could look. Quite an amazing guy. Okay, so Augustine's around 400 AD. Then you have, in about 1250 AD, you have Thomas Aquinas. Okay, so Aquinas took Aristotle's view of reality, understanding truth, and synthesized it with Christian theology. Aquinas was a brilliant man, brilliant thinker. So in 1600, you have a major thing happen here, a major divide, okay? And you have René Descartes. René Descartes began a revolution in modern philosophy and theology. He's famous for the dictum, I think, therefore I am. So before Descartes, going back even to pre-Socratic, pre-Platonic thinkers, before him, the question, or what was primary, was understanding what is there. In other words, these folks here knew something was there. There was truth, and there was reality outside of themselves. Okay? So the study of what is there, the study of truth, trying to understand truth, align your life with truth, it was a given that something or someone was out there. Descartes was a game changer in the sense that he moved to this question being primary. So Descartes' question was, how do you know what's there? And really his question was, how do you know with absolute philosophical certainty what is there is really there? Okay? So Descartes closed himself up in a cabin, and he had a heater stove and some water for days and days and days, and he doubted everything. Everything he could doubt, he doubted. And he came to the conclusion, the world may not exist, the universe may not exist, my body may not exist, but you know what? I think, therefore I am. I can't doubt that I am a thinking person. So with Descartes, now again, Descartes was a Christian. He based that upon God. But with Descartes, our realm of knowledge and truth went from truth being out there for us trying to figure out how we as an individual and through our mind can find the truth. So now it's an utter game changer. So after Descartes, you have my main man, I still have time here, we'll put him in 1847, Soren Kierkegaard. So Kierkegaard was an existentialist. He said, listen, your mind is a great thing. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, we heard. You know, your mind is great, reason is great, but we're more than reasoning people. We're willful people. We're people who make choices. We're people who have passions. And if you're really going to know God and know truth, you have to have a passion for truth. So Kierkegaard ushers in existentialism. Then in 1859, we're flying here. Darwin publishes Origin of Species, and that kind of gives some intellectual support to materialists. 1900, you have Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche rebelled against all of the things before him, against Descartes, against reason and rationalism, and said there's really no meaning to life. Really, no one can find truth. Nietzsche said, God is dead and we've killed him. Now what we're going to do? Have a nice day. So he passes away in 1900. His philosophy, his worldview continues to have an impact on our world. So you have in the 1950s, coming out of World War II, you have Camus, you have Sartre, the French existentialists, who don't like the fact that there's no meaning. So saying, hey, create your own meaning. If it feels good, do it. Find your sense of purpose. Authenticate yourself through a choice. Take that leap. So they basically stole from Kierkegaard and took out God. And then you have here, in the 1960s and 70s, you have the advent really of what we call postmodernism. And you have Michael Foucault, and you have Jacques Derrida. And postmodernism says basically there's really no truth. Truth is relative. There's no grand story, grand narrative. There's no objective reality outside of ourselves. Everything is simply a power play. And then in 2019, the person that's going to bring us back to sanity and objective truth is Verlander, because he brings the heat. Okay? So there you go. Was that 4 minutes? Right around there. So I think it's important to see, if you would, how this search for truth, the question that Pilate asked, had been going on centuries before he and Christ had this discussion right here in 30 AD. And then to see the monumental impact of the Christian worldview, of Augustine, all truth is God's truth, as it helped birth what we know as the Western world and really shape Christianity, and then how that played out within the modern teachings and philosophies. And I know some of you are saying, well, Ben, why did you go over all that? This is just a bunch of philosophy, blah, blah, blah. Listen, ideas have consequences, massive consequences. The idea of Friedrich Nietzsche and his philosophy undergirded the philosophy of the Nazis and Adolf Hitler and led to the extinction of millions and millions and millions of Jews and Christians. The ideas of Karl Marx and his naturalism, materialism, led to the death of over 30 million Russians. The ideas of Camus and Foucault that are playing out in our society today has led to the insanity of the postmodern culture and all the crazy political correctness and all the insane issues surrounding gender and this anti-scientific, irrational world and culture we find ourselves in today. Ideas have consequences. And when we become untethered from the source of all truth, then we are like a ship without a rudder in the universe. Now, what is truth? Pilate asked. Well, Pilate, while you were eating grapes in the palace, the guy you're talking to here, Jesus Christ, was telling us a lot about truth. Look what he said. He said in John 8, we were singing about this earlier actually. John 8:31, he said to the Jews who believed in him, Jesus said, if you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So 3 things we can know about truth. He lays out for us right here. Ready? The first thing is this: truth is knowable. Truth is knowable. God has revealed himself to us, to everyone, in a way that we can know that he is really there. We can open our eyes, we can open our ears, we can even look into our own heart, and we can sense and know the knowledge and the truth and the reality of God. Agnosticism, perpetual agnosticism, is an untenable position to live in perpetual doubt. One day, sometime, you have to land the plane. Open your mind, open your heart to the reality of God. He invites you to knock, to ask, to seek. Truth is knowable. Second of all, truth is livable. It's livable. He said, if you hold to my teaching, if you live out my reality in your life, if you align your will with my will at home and at work, your life will change. Truth is not merely some, intellectual superstructure, though it's important that we ground things in truth. Truth is a personal commitment that we seek to live out every single day. Truth is livable. So the question for a lot of us here is, are you living the truth? Or are you living a lie? God wants us to live our lives aligned with the reality of who he is, to live it out. And the third thing we know about truth here from this one passage that Jesus taught was that truth will set you free. Isn't that great? Truth, God's truth, will set you free. Let's just take one area. Let's take the area of forgiveness. Remember a few weeks ago, we had Ken Freeman come here and talk. Ken Freeman, if anybody had a kind of a right to kind of shake their fist at God and shake their fist at the world, I mean, good night, I can't even count the number of stepfathers, stepmothers, divorces, remarriages. I needed a calculator to figure it out. The abuse, the beatings that he took as a kid growing up. But somewhere in that process, as he shared with us, God told him he had to forgive his mean, abusive mom. He had to forgive his mean, abusive dad. And it was through releasing that anger, releasing that bitterness to God, that he became free. He was free. Why? Because you shall know the truth. You shall live the truth, and that truth shall make you free. Maybe that's why his last name's Freeman. I don't know. But it's a great story, isn't it? A great story. When we align our life with truth, that truth begins to set us free. And so a lot of us here say, hey, Ben, I've been there, done that. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. Man, I get it. I'm with you. Some are not. Some are questioning. But listen, God wants us to be more free in our life. And it's not like you wake up and all of a sudden everything just fits together and you get it all and you're just totally free of all the stuff and all the baggage. It doesn't work that way. So we're in this process, this journey with God, this discipleship together. And as we follow him, as we put into practice his teachings, as we get honest with him and honest with others, and he begins to that process of setting us more free. So maybe some of you need to ask the question, what is an area in my life that I'm not free of yet? and he wants you to be free. Oh, Pilate. Pilate asked a good question, didn't he? What is truth? Think about Pilate. Pilate had the power. He had the power in that conversation. He had the power, the authority of politics and of government and law, the sword. He had the power. But Jesus had the truth. Not only did he have the truth, he was the truth. Pilate reluctantly executed Jesus. He crucified Jesus. The Romans crucified people all the time. Jesus had grown up seeing thousands of people crucified, lined up on the row. It wasn't anything unusual. What was unusual about this particular crucifixion and this particular person is that when he was crucified, 3 days after that, he came up out of the grave alive, and he appeared to his followers, and then he appeared to over 500 eyewitnesses over a span of 40 days. You see, truth has a way of always rising to the top. A lie will get around the world 7 times, while truth sometimes is still tying its sneakers. But truth, in this case, rose to the top. And as men and women began to understand and align their lives with truth, this little movement called Christianity of around 11 people started to grow and grow and grow, where today there's some 2.3 billion Christ followers around the world who said, listen, I want the truth in my life, and I want to live it out. Pilate, did you know that truth was in your backyard? Pilate, did you know that you were staring truth and reality in the face? Pilate, did you know that truth can set you free?